Everyone, trust you all are doing well and welcome back. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. Right, we finished up our database migration in the previous lesson. So what we're going to do in this one is we're going to set up our point model, this one right here, and our pointable interface. All right, so these are the two we're going to be working on today. All right, so what I want to do now is we just need to do a couple of things. Right, the first one will be the content table, just to be consistent with our work, and this will be to the point to the points table. Remember the one that we just created in the previous one, this one right here. Okay, so I'm referencing this table right here. Okay, you could have done protected table equal points like this. You could have done that. All right, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, I'm just going to do it like this, because what I will do is I will reference the table and stuff like that. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we're protected fillable. All right, so this is for mess assignment. Okay, so if we want to do a mess assignment, we actually just set the protected fillable. All right, in this one, I'm just going to include the ID. The next one will be the amount. And the next one, what did we do with the database? Let me just open it up. See, we got the ID, amount, message, and current points. Okay, so let's do it in that order. Message, okay, and the last one, current points. We're actually not going to mess assign the current points, but anyway, let me put it in there. All right, so protected fillable like this. Actually, yeah, let me leave it like that. All right, so the next thing that I want to do, I want to set up the relationship, polymorphic relationship, so public function, that will be pointable. Okay, and that's going to be a morph to. Okay, turn this, okay, just like that. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to add some calculations in our model as well. So basically, we need to be able to get the current points. Okay, so let's do that. So if we query get the current points, we're going to get it from here. So public, so get current points. So we want to know, we just pass in the model and the pointable. Right, and just put it like this. So, remember, it must be the eloquent model. That's why I'm just bring this a bit down. See it a little bit better. Just the eloquent model right there that we're going to query. Right, so we're just going to create a variable called current points, because in order for us to calculate the current points, we're going to see how many points the current user have, and then but you will see in a second. Right, so let's bring in the point model. Okay, and then you're going to query the point model where the pointable ID, pointable ID. Remember, when we created our polymorphic, this table right here creates two tables for us: a pointable ID and a pointable type, like this. Okay, so I'm querying this right here. Okay, get the point table where the pointable ID is equal to the pointable ID. Okay, so this will be the user's ID. All right, so whichever user, because this is a polymorphic kind of setup that we have, so we can use it in any model we want, but we're going to use it with the user model. All right, so the pointable ID will just point to the user's ID. All right, so we're going to search the points where the pointable ID is equal to that user's ID, and when the pointable type will actually equal to the user's class. All right, so just view it as such. All right, so the next thing I want to do, I want to check where, all right, where the pointable type, is equal to, basically we're going to get the user's that pointable class. Okay, so pointable get morph class. like this. So what we can do with this one is we just basically getting the class of that polymorphic relationship. All right, so in this case, it will be the users. Okay, awesome. The next thing that we want to do is we want to order them by, let's say current date. So created that date. And we want to order them descending. That. And then we just want to plug the current points. Okay. So what we want to do is we just want to get only the current points. Okay. So plug the current points and just give me the first one. Like this. Right. Let me just put it like that. All right. So get the points where the pointable ID is equal to this ID. So which in this case it will be the user's ID. All right. That. All right. And the next thing is we check the pointable type that is equal to that user's class, and we just order them like that, and we just block the current points in the first one. Now, the question is, if, let me just put an if statement, if there's not current points, let's say the user doesn't have any current points. If the user doesn't have any current points, okay, set the current points equal to 0. Okay, so a place where we can start from. All right, so if, let's say we do the query and this user doesn't have any points, okay, so then we set it to 0 and then we just return the current points. It just can't give a place where the user can actually start their points from. All right, now the thing is we're going to create now add rewards. Okay, so public function, and this one is going to be add points. Let's say add awards. Let's call it add awards. Okay, so we're just going to bring in the model. Pointable. Then we want to put in the amount. Okay, amount, message. So basically what we want to do, this method right here, this will be responsible for actually adding the whole thing together to the user's point system. All right. So we just want to add the pointable, so it's the model, we add the amount and the message. Okay, so let's do that. Award. Now it's going to equal to new static. Okay, so award, and then say we award amount. Okay, so the award amount is going to equal to this amount that we're going to pass through as a parameter. Just remember it's going to receive this. Okay, so then we set a award amount to that. Okay, the next thing we want to do, award current points. We're going to equal that to this dot current get current points. All right, there, right there. Get the current points, and we just pass in the pointable like this. Then we just plus the amount. Okay. The next thing is we want to add the message. So award message. It's going to equal to the message that we're going to pass through. You're going to see where we're going to get this in a second from. And okay. And then basically the pointable dot. Right, so pointable awards, and we haven't created this method yet. We're going to create a trade in order to do this method. And we're just going to press save from this. Save. And then we want to do is we just want to turn all right. So we obviously haven't created this yet. All right. So we're still going to create that in a second. But not in this one, probably in the next one where we're going to just create the trade for that as well. Right, so the next thing, let's just quickly do our interface. So this won't work yet, but just bear with me. All right, so just pause the video to be able to copy this right here. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we just want to create an interface. Let's go to that quickly. Right, so this is just not going to be too many. All right, so this is going to be a public function. This is not like, let me just rather do it like this, public function. This is going to be an awards. This, okay, just remember I'm calling it here, all right, but whatever model needs to fulfill this contract, okay, because I want the awards to be part of it, okay. So the awards, the next one is to count the awards, so public function, anyway, let me just type it out. Public function, and this one is going to be count. Next thing is going to be add points. So public, so used to the pub f, so public function. Let me just do it like this. All right, so now this one is going to be the add points. All right, so the add points, it needs to be part of it, and it needs to take in the amount as a parameter and the message. Okay, so this is basically now our interface all set up. Okay, so what we're going to do in the next one, we're going to create a trade. Okay. The next one, we're going to create a trade right here called has points in order for it to be functional when we actually want to use it. Right. Now, I just wanted to, just a short note. In the previous one, I said I'm not going to do it for the likes. The reason for that is I have to create different events for that to happen. But since we already have a reply event and a thread event, I'm going to use those in order to actually get our points and stuff like that. Okay, so that's it for this one. And the next one what we're going to do is we're going to set up our hash points trade and some other stuff. All right, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.